The journey to become your dream is, first and foremost, an internal revolution, a profound and deliberate dismantling of the old identity to make space for the new. This is not about merely acquiring a new job, a larger bank account, or a different relationship, though those may be external markers of the shift. It is about undergoing a fundamental transformation at the level of your being, where you stop seeing the dream as a distant destination and start embodying it as your present reality. The process begins with a ruthless audit of your self-concept. Who are you now? What stories do you tell yourself about your capabilities, your worth, your past failures, and your right to have more? These narratives are the very architecture of your current life, and they must be consciously deconstructed. Often, we are held back not by a lack of resources, but by a deep-seated identity that is incompatible with our aspirations. The person who feels inherently not a leader will sabotage their promotion. The person who sees themselves as unlucky in love will unconsciously repel healthy partners. To become your dream, you must kill the version of you that was shaped by other people's expectations, past traumas, and societal conditioning. This is an act of psychological courage. It requires you to sit in the uncomfortable silence and question every assumption. You must challenge the "I am" statements that define you. Instead of "I am someone who is trying to be a successful entrepreneur," you must adopt the identity of "I am a successful entrepreneur." This shift in language is not mere positive thinking. It is a command to your nervous system. When you change your identity, your decisions, actions, and focus automatically reorganize to be consistent with this new self-image. You start making choices from the place of the person you have decided to become, rather than the person you were. This internal work is the non-negotiable foundation. Without it, any external success will feel hollow, temporary, or like a facade, because the core self has not been upgraded to hold and sustain it. The world reflects back to you the identity you project. Therefore, the most critical work happens in the private theater of your own mind, where you must rehearse, embody, and finally become the lead character in the life of your dreams, long before the outer world offers you any proof that it is possible. The path from where you are to where you want to be is not a smooth, paved highway. It is a rugged, uncharted trail filled with obstacles specifically designed to forge your character and test your commitment. These challenges are not random acts of a cruel universe, nor are they signs that you are on the wrong path. On the contrary, they are the essential curriculum required to develop the competence and strength necessary to deserve and maintain your dream. A dream that is achieved without struggle is often a dream that is easily lost, because the person who achieved it did not grow into the person capable of holding it. The friction you encounter, the rejection, the financial pressure, the moments of paralyzing doubt, the criticism from others, is the fire that tempers your resolve. It burns away the superficial desires and reveals the core of your true purpose. Why is this struggle necessary? Because your dream exists on a different plane of existence from your current reality, and to reach it, you must expand. This expansion is always painful. It is like a muscle being broken down to be rebuilt stronger. Every time you face a fear and take action anyway, you are literally rewiring your brain's circuitry, moving from a state of reactivity to a state of responsibility. Every time you fail, learn, and persist, you are building a reservoir of resilience that becomes an unshakable part of your character. The overnight success is a myth. Behind it are years of unseen battles fought in the dark. These battles are what separate the dreamers from those who become their dreams. The dreamer sees an obstacle and retreats, confirming their pre-existing fears. The one committed to becoming sees the same obstacle and advances, understanding that this is the very thing that will make the story worth telling. They develop a gratitude for the resistance, a mindset where they learn to love the grind, because they understand that the grind is the transformative process itself. The dream is the prize, but the person you become by overcoming the challenges on the way to that prize is the real reward. You emerge not just with the thing you wanted, but with an unbreakable confidence, a depth of wisdom, and a strength of spirit that cannot be given or taken away. It must be earned. The bridge between your internal decision and your external reality is built through the masterful control of your emotional and mental state. You cannot live a life of passion, purpose, and power, the hallmarks of someone living their dream, if you are a slave to your own shifting moods and negative thought patterns. Your state is the lens through which you perceive the world and the fuel for your actions. In a state of fear, anger, or frustration, your world contracts, your options seem limited, and you are prone to making decisions from a place of lack and survival. In a state of confidence, curiosity, and determination, your world expands, you see opportunities everywhere, and you make decisions from a place of abundance and creativity. Therefore, to become your dream, you must become the undisputed master of your state, learning to shift it on demand. This is a practical skill, not a mystical one. It begins with your physiology. Your body and mind are a feedback loop. You cannot feel depressed while holding your chest high, breathing deeply, and moving with energy and purpose. By consciously changing your posture, your facial expressions, your breathing, and your movement, you can instantly change your emotional experience. The next lever is your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. If you are constantly focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, and what could go wrong, you will energize those very things and create a reality of anxiety and lack. If you force your focus onto what's right, what you are grateful for, and the solution to the problem, you energize possibility and progress. Finally, you must master the language you use, both out loud and in your internal dialogue. The questions you ask yourself are particularly powerful. Asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" puts you in a victim state, while asking, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I use this?" puts you in a state of empowerment and resourcefulness. This triad, physiology, focus, and language, is your state management toolkit. Using it consistently allows you to break patterns of procrastination, overcome moments of crisis, and maintain the peak state of a leader, a creator, and a visionary, even when circumstances are challenging. It is the daily practice of directing your inner world so precisely that your outer world has no choice but to align with its command. Ultimately, to truly and sustainably become your dream, the pursuit must transcend pure personal achievement and connect to a purpose larger than yourself. A dream that is solely about your own gratification, a bigger house, a faster car, more personal freedom, is often too small a vision to sustain the immense effort, sacrifice, and growth required. It is a flame that can easily be extinguished by the winds of adversity because its fuel is finite. However, when your dream is tethered to a mission of contribution, when it becomes about who you can become for others, it transforms into a roaring fire that can consume any obstacle. This shift from me to we is the final and most profound stage of the journey. It is the realization that your highest personal fulfillment will be found in the service of others. Your unique talents, your acquired skills, and the wisdom forged in your struggles are not just for your own benefit. They are gifts to be shared. When you frame your dream in this way, to build a company that creates meaningful jobs for hundreds of families, to create art that heals and inspires millions, to develop a technology that solves a pressing human problem, you tap into a source of energy that is inexhaustible. On the days when your own personal motivation wanes, your sense of responsibility to your mission will pull you forward. This larger purpose becomes the North Star that guides every decision and gives meaning to every setback. The dream is no longer a possession to be acquired, but a legacy to be lived. You begin to see yourself as a steward of your gifts, and your life becomes your masterpiece of contribution. This is the ultimate transformation. You are no longer just a person who achieved a goal. You become a force for good, a source of inspiration, and a catalyst for the dreams of others. The final beautiful paradox is that in giving your dream away, in using it to serve, you become more fully yourself than you ever could have by keeping it for yourself alone. The life you then live is not just the dream you once had. It is a platform for a legacy that will continue to expand long after you are gone.